Welcome to SunnySpeaks, here again with another review for you, and you. And today, I'm here to talk about Anora, directed by Sean Baker. The story is a remix on the Cinderella tale, as Anora, our main character, played by Mikey Madison, seeks to escape her life as a erotic dancer and sex worker when she meets Ivan, played by Eidelstein, who is a Russian, rich, privileged kid vacationing in America. After being entranced by the promises and the lifestyle that he leads, she realizes that escape isn't as attainable as she thought it would be. My first thought after leaving the theater for this movie was that for a movie called Anora, I don't know who Anora is. And that's my biggest problem with this film. The burrito, the outer shell of this movie, the presentation of this film is great. It has a uncut gems type of vibe as far as the way it looks visually, and from literally everything, from the lighting, shot selection, cinematography, the editing, the acting. Mikey Madison, Eidelstein obviously included. They do a great job, but the story of this movie did not work for me, and I know because of the theater that I was in and the pretty large audience that I was a part of, I am in the minority, on top of seeing reviews I've seen. The issue for me is that the situation that Anora is dealing with is serious. And yet, not only do you not feel the gravity of the situation because of it being a dramedy, and at a certain point when it hits the second act, it becomes a straight up like slapstick on some Three Stooges type beat. Not only do you not feel the gravity of that because of that, but also because the lack of time that you spend with her by herself. I don't understand who Anora is. And so then it leads to me feeling like, why is she making these decisions? Why does she need to escape her life? Why is she gaslighting herself? Why is she actively being delusional? And it is possible that the idea that Sean Baker was going for is that the lifestyle, the mansion, the riches was enough to gloss her eyes over, was enough to make her feel like, I will do anything, I will be anything to have this and to be a part of this instead of where I'm from. But for me, I feel like we needed more time with that character by herself or in some sort of way in order to really feel the impact of what she was going through. Even in the switch, because the first act of this movie, the pseudo love story, I think is the best part of this movie. I think Mikey Madison as Anora and Eidelstein as Ivan, they build this really cool romantic chemistry where it's like, it is a very different dynamic than normal relationships because it's not a normal arrangement. Ivan is paying Anora for services that then leads into further developments. And with that creates a very distinct experience. And as an audience member, it is cool to watch how that develops and seeing kind of the, not cat and mouse game, but more the not knowing of how the power struggle truly will be. I think that it works really well in that first act. But once that second act kicks in and certain things happen, it's almost like we switch perspectives. Well, we're not in Anora's head anymore. We aren't following Anora's perspective. We are now just watching things transpire. And even then, there are side characters who come in who then become more like main side characters. And honestly, by the end of the movie, I feel like I understood them more than I understood Anora. And a scene that is supposed to be, and if you see the movie, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. There's a certain scene where I feel like the movie shifts. And when it does that, the problem to me is that if we followed Anora throughout all of this, if we were only seeing this through her perspective, that scene would not be funny. that scene would not be comedic, at least to me. And there were multiple times where people were laughing in the theater, and I was like, is this supposed to be funny, or are you just wilding right now? But I feel like that scene in particular, like just shifting the perspective on that is a microcosm into my problem with this entire movie, is that I feel like it leaves her perspective too much and doesn't allow us to live in the anxiety she's feeling, live in the chaos she is now having to be a part of when she thought that this was going to be the end of her problems. And I think that really just, it drops the ball to me. Again, the presentation of this movie is amazing. I would take nothing away from it on a visual level, and everybody who acts in this does a great job. Yuriy Borisov, who plays Igor, I think he's definitely a standout as well. Another character who comes in like that second act area, and he's almost like the audience, and we learn a lot about him just through his, like, just him looking at things and him acknowledging things that aren't being acknowledged and seeing the real tragedy in what Anora is going through. And I really appreciated that character, and I think that he does a great job as that character. But again, my issue is that it should be Anora's story. And yet again, I don't know who Anora is. We don't know enough about her to feel her pain, to feel her longing for a different reality. We just aren't allowed that because the script doesn't allow that. I know that I am in the minority with this opinion because I've seen reviews. And again, I was in that theater and I turned to the person next to me, and I've never done this before, but I was just so perplexed because I felt very conflicted by the end of the movie. And I turned to the person next to me and I said, how did you feel about that movie? And he said, that was fantastic. And I was like, wow. Like, am I crazy? Am I in did I see a different movie? By that certain point I've been referring to, I really was like, I think I'm watching a different movie than everybody else. Not hating it. Nothing I'm saying is hate. But I think that the emotions and the certain things that the audience was able to grab, I just wasn't there. And a big part of that, to me, the only part of that really, was the story. I think the story just does not land the way that I wish it would have. Because I think Mikey Madison does an incredible job. She is subtle. She is loud. She is seductive. She is relatable, unrelatable. She is fiery. She is sad. She's so many different emotions, so many colors. But at the same time, of all these colors that look very beautiful, I don't know what I'm looking at. I don't have any understanding of this character. And I do wish that some more exposition or just something created a better understanding of why she's doing what she's doing. Because then at a certain point, when the movie's going along and we're getting to the last parts and she's still doing the same things, it creates this distortion for me and this disruption from consumer to the art trying to be consumed, where I feel like this character is dumb. And I think that's one of the worst places you can be, when you can have a dumb character or a character without knowledge. But when you have a character who has a lot of the same knowledge that you have, that was wary of the same things that you would be wary about, and yet continues to gaslight themselves, but gives you no reason on why they're doing that, it, for me, just didn't work. I would absolutely love anybody's opinion on this movie in the comments down below. If you've seen this movie, if you're going to go see it, and I definitely recommend it while still having my big issues with it, or issue with it. I give the movie a rating of mostly cloudy, where it is flawed with good, damn near great moments. But again, I would love to hear what anybody's thoughts are on this movie. And if you see it, come back and let me know what you think, because I know I'm in the minority and maybe I missed something. It was my first viewing, and this is me doing a review from that one viewing. So I absolutely could change my mind, and these reviews are definitely, it's possible for me to feel differently. But I just feel like that really drops the ball on, especially the last scene of this movie, where I feel like the movie really wants you to feel some sort of emotional resonance, some sort of understanding or connection or sadness to Anora. And I didn't get it. Even with Anora and Eager, what they build with that, which I think was a pretty cool and interesting way of doing that. It doesn't ruin it like how I thought it was going to, but it still lands in a place where I'm like, like I don't know. I would absolutely love anybody's opinions on this movie because I think it is something to see and it is thought provoking in a way, but I do think that it could have been a lot better if it chose to handle things in a more serious way rather than choosing the comedic route. So yeah, that has been my review of Anora. Please like and subscribe if you're new or if you have seen other videos that I've made. I'm here to stay and I'm going to keep on doing this and keep on working hard at it. I appreciate anybody who's been watching these videos consistently, or if this is the first time you're coming across my channel, thank you for watching. Again, if you see this movie, please let me know what you think in the comments. I would love to discuss. But yeah, I'm Sunny. I'll be back again. Peace.